Yay! 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 Yay!
Good game, Mike.
Yeah, it's been really fun. So that was the end of the first round of the bracket. Now, if you're not listening in chronological order, go listen to the episode before this first, because we're doing a March Madness style bracket for television shows.
And again, these shows came from a list that Mike compiled. He put this game together. Great job.
And I've come up with a bunch I forgot.
There's a bunch of shows forgotten on the list, but that's okay.
But we're compiling a list of the shows I forgot on this list, and we're going to make another
list.
Yeah, so there you go.
Why not?
So just to recap what we're doing, we have 4 regions in our bracket. We have animated, we have drama, we have single camera comedy, and we have studio audience television shows. Those are the 4 different regions, and we're just going to go right through the list. We're going to start here with the number 1 seed. So we're gonna start in the studio audience bracket.
By the way, all 4 of the number 1 seeds made it through the first round.
Yes, I mean
they had to. It was slam dunk. They're all favorites to make their way through. It's not like basketball where they had to prove anything more.
Yeah.
They're all off the air. Did a great job. So the number 1 seed, you're in. What category are you in? To start with.
By the way, I didn't pick the upset, but I did cover the spread when Virginia was upset as a 1 seed in the.
All right, fair.
I just want to put that out there, because they were like 30-point favorites, and I'm like, Virginia can only score 63 points because they're a defensive team. Easy, got it. So Seinfeld versus the Golden Girls, the 1 versus the 8.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going with Seinfeld. Golden Girls. Absolutely amazing show. We're going to be at the point where we are going to be eliminating some amazing television.
Some of our best shows.
Some of our
We're
best
gonna
shows.
have to get rid of.
But I'm having Seinfeld advance to the Sweet 16.
I agree with you. I am in the same category.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
There you go.
I think it has to happen. So Seinfeld advances to the Sweet 16.
If you disagree with us, or if you have an idea for another bracket game for us to do,
We'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, call into the show.
6317 Mike Mo. That's 6317 Mike with a Y. Mike Mo. 6317 Mike Mo. Give us a call. Tell us what you think. If you listen to the last one and you're so mad at us for eliminating,
Breaking Bad.
True Detective.
No, Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
that was the number 2 seed on this list.
Tell us what you think, and maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't. Okay.
If you liked Breaking Bad, tell us why you like bad television.
This is what I'd like to do here in the Sweet 16.
Well, we're in the second round.
Sorry, we're in the second round. What I'd like to do is stay in bracket for now.
You want to stay in bracket?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now the next up would be the 12 seed against the 4 seed. The 12 seed that was the upset that Roseanne pulled off against Big Bang against Taxi.
Yeah, the number 4
that
seed.
took the 4 seed that shot down the Cosby Show. So Roseanne versus Taxi. Mike, what do you like?
It's kind of a Cinderella story, but I'm taking Roseanne to advance over Taxi.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I'm taking.
You're more
Roseanne.
relatable. I think the age-wise is in there too for you.
Well, no, not necessarily, because like I said, I watched a lot of Taxi in my younger years. I did watch a lot of that show, but I think that Roseanne, from a comedy, from a storytelling, from a morality, from a relatable, and from a character perspective, I think that's why I'm going with Roseanne.
I respect it, but I disagree. I think more good characters in the long term came out of Taxi. I think the people who were there were cast really well. You've got the Danny DeVito and Kaufman. I mean, come on, you got great.
Danny DeVito and Andy Kaufman. Keep going.
Tony Danza, who went on to have his own show too, did a great job. Look, Taxi was a great show across the board. It set the bar to me for a lot of things. It was kind of outside the box for a sitcom.
Sure, yeah.
Taxi takes it to the next level. They've advanced.
There you go. Okay. Married with Children versus.
Put them in the Sweet 16, by the way. Married with Children versus Friends.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tough one for you. This is difficult.
No, it's not for me. Married with Children.
It's going to win for you, but it's tough to knock out Friends, is what I'm saying.
It is tough to knock out Friends. I was never like crazy over Friends.
Yeah.
Right? Very good show.
Both great shows.
Very good show. Very attractive cast.
Oh, yeah. You had a thing for Ross for years.
Oh, David Schwimmer. How can you not? I'd swim in that. No.
Stop it.
But Married with Children, I mean, oh my God. So good. So daring.
Oh, absolutely.
So daring. Yet, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Well, it was Fox throwing it all out there going, what are you going to do to us?
I'm sorry. Possibly, The Simpsons aside, possibly the #1 show in terms of celebrity cameos. Because they would,
Not bad,
especially for guys.
Yeah.
Ernie Banks was in that show.
Yeah.
In the same episode as Joe Namath. In the same episode, that was a very star-studded, sports-centric episode, right? They had Mike Piazza during the baseball strike. They had a nudie bar baseball league that took over the nation. Right. I mean, how could you not let? And they were sponsored by the Jiggly Room. Like, how could you? And just the Jiggly Room in general. And no, ma'am. Like,
no, ma'am.
Still
holds.
And it's so funny because a lot of the stuff that was in that show, not only was it like racy, but a lot of it is just like absolutely true. The stereotypes that they played up were just like they were spot on. It was a really good show. Even if you take out the TNA, that stands for tits and ass. Even if you take out that stuff,
Christina Applegate was a goddess and still is. Love her.
she sure was.
She still is.
She
Beautiful woman.
Yes.
And I will.
Kelly Bundy was not a woman. That was a girl.
child.
That was a girl.
And we were the same age.
No,
we are
she
the
wasn't a
same
child.
age.
She wasn't a child. She was 18 when that show started.
I think she was younger.
No, she was a teenager.
She was a teenager, but 18. There's a big difference in saying those words, my friend.
I'm pretty sure.
You look up how old Christina Applegate is now.
I'm
how old
pretty
is
sure.
Christina Applegate?
Your age, probably
Yeah.
near 50.
Yeah. And I started watching her younger years of high school. So I don't think she was 18, buddy.
But yeah, they didn't really start like, it was probably the first like 3 seasons,
Yeah.
and then they really started like sexualizing her.
Yeah.
I guess you would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And while I agree with every statement you made there,
What
I'm
year was she
moving
born, by the
friends.
way? Over, under?
71.
Yeah, she was 71.
Yeah.
Good job. You're taking Friends, though?
I'm taking Friends.
Okay.
Friends, again, what I was most impressed with Friends is I remember some of those actors coming on that show, and I was like, look at this. They're taking like a hodgepodge of people we might have seen here and there. We saw Courtney Cox dancing for Bruce Springsteen. We saw, we saw some of them in different spots, right? Matthew Perry, we saw in something with a different show. But like they know they have some talent, they're going to hodgepodge them together. And it worked. And it was so unbelievably relatable for everybody. For some reason, it was my generation's show, more so than Married with Children was. Even though I love the shock comedy of Married with Children, I'm more Friends.
Oh, Married with Children.
Yeah, no, look, I love them both. Like you said, there's going to be painful choices. That's a painful choice, my friend.
I will say this. I think Friends probably had the most unrealistic Manhattan apartments in all of
Oh,
television.
no question.
In all of
No
television
question.
history. Like, you have a 3-bedroom, and your living room and kitchen in itself
Yeah.
is going to be 1,000, 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
How did they afford that?
Yeah. And how is it those apartments are so different from across the hall from one another? Drastically different.
No, layout-wise, they're very
No,
similar.
they're very, very different.
Door leads into the kitchen next to that, which has the open space, and then the bedroom doors on the side. No, and then the bathroom was right there. Yeah.
No, the bathroom is
No, the bathroom was different in this
different
apartment.
In both apartments,
Yeah,
it was different.
The guy's bathroom was near the kitchen.
They had a balcony in the ladies. The guys had just a wall with that one window where they had a whole. First off, how many people are going to have that kind of balcony too, with the greenhouse effect to it too?
Yeah, in Manhattan,
And
you don't have a
originally-
balcony. You have a fire escape.
Yeah,
not quite the balcony.
All right, so we're going to move on.
There you go. All in the Family versus Cheers.
Oh, this one's the most painful.
This one's tough. I'm gonna go Cheers all day. I'm going Cheers all day.
I'm going back to the shock, because All in the Family was.
Fuck!
Whoa, what's wrong?
I just got a text from Alex Hooper,
Oh no.
and he's on our show tonight.
Yeah.
There's
I love Hoop.
an Olympic live stream.
Yeah.
And he just wrote, "Get ready to be roasted. I got some stunners."
Oh.
Now this is one of the best roast comics in the world.
Well, by the time they hear that,
oh no!
this show will be already in the can,
Oh,
and
no.
Alex is coming after you.
Yeah, this is Jeff Ross said that Alex is his favorite Rose comic,
I love it.
which is oh no. All right, everybody.
I love. Oh, this is great.
Oh god,
Looking forward to this.
I might just have to do a highlight reel of that for this
So
show.
speaking of roasting people, All in the Family was it was the cutting edge show of all cutting edge shows.
Uh-oh.
They tackled the idiot. They tackled every major topic of the time. I've just watched it again recently, and it holds. People are like, oh, that's a dated show. It's not a dated show, and that's why you had so much great work off of that show. Maude connects to that show. The Jeffersons connect to that show. All great stuff coming from that show. Even Archie's Place coming off of that show, which wasn't that good. Archie had his bar after Edith died.
This is news to me.
Yeah,
Really?
Archie's Place, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it?
it wasn't good.
What did?
The bar that he went to all the time
Uh-huh.
became Archie bought the bar after Edith died. Sorry for the spoiler.
It happens.
Archie bought a bar and had a granddaughter, or not even granddaughter, the girl they adopted, whichever it was.
Did they have
Little girl.
a sign in that bar that said "colored restroom"?
No.
Like that.
No. No. This is Archie in his growing up days.
So he wasn't the racist.
But you talk about, you talk about, he grew as the show went on too, a little bit too,
Yeah.
but you
I was
talk
gonna
about,
say, you said, yeah, a lot of people can relate to that show these days. They sure can.
well, look, his relationship with the Jeffersons taught the world a ton. It was great. Attack it with comedy. And you want to talk about cameos that came on. Sammy Davis Jr. being on that show and kissing Archie Bunker. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant comedy. Sorry, I love Cheers with a passion. All in the Family takes it.
So in our Sweet 16 in that bracket, we only agreed on Seinfeld.
I've got Seinfeld, Taxi, Friends, and All in the Family.
And I've got Seinfeld, Roseanne, Married with Children, and Cheers. So this will be good because
It
now,
will be.
now we can play.
Sure.
Now we can play against each other in,
All right,
in the
now,
next round.
Single camera.
Single camera. The Office versus 30 Rock. Now, The Office is the number one seed. 30 Rock was a fantastic show.
Was.
But The Office is just on another level.
Office just obliterates them.
Yeah. No, it
does.
doesn't obliterate them.
Sorry, it does. I like 30 Rock.
They didn't pull away until the second half. They didn't pull away until this. It was a close first half.
They sat their starters in the first half.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, Park and Rec versus Earl. This is a really tough matchup. Park and Rec versus Earl.
This one's going to double overtime.
Yeah, I agree. Double OT, both great shows, both great cast, and well done, and very, very well written. I'm giving the...
All right, hold on, say on the count of three. Ready?
I'm saying it's a final three-point shot put up by...
Just say the show on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2.
Park and Rec. The look he just gave me is fantastic. Oh, that was too good. The look he just gave me was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Park and Rec.
Yeah, it is Park and Rec.
That is.
I was
the
going to say
answer.
Ron Swanson puts up a 3 at the last second and drills it.
No. Ron Swanson hit 2 free throws, and then he took a knife to the ball and said, "This game is over."
This game is over.
and that's what happened.
I love it. I love it. Ron Swanson is the reason that goes over the top. I'll agree with that.
Did you enjoy the Zoom reunion show that they did?
Yes,
Yeah,
very much so.
it was. I liked some components of it. I'm just so upset that they were relegated to doing it during the Zoom
Yeah,
phase.
it's a sign of the times.
But it worked.
They gave us something that we never expected to see.
But it worked,
So,
yeah.
okay.
So
This is where this is really difficult in this whole thing. We just had to have All in the Family versus Cheers. We had to do
Yeah.
Park and Rec versus Earl. Modern Family versus Eastbound and Down, to me, are not of the caliber, although I like Eastbound and Down, and that's going to win for me. But it's difficult that I have to deal with that. And then the first round, we had Arrested Development and Curb.
Yep.
That broke my heart.
Yep.
But now I got Eastbound and Down and Modern Family going into the Sweet 16, and that's...
So who do you take there?
Oh, Eastbound.
So here's the thing. I have Always Sunny. They beat Modern Family in the
Yeah.
first round, and I think Always Sunny advances beyond Eastbound and
Really?
Down. I do.
Wow.
I think Always Sunny, especially those first 5 seasons. The Revolutionary War episode was one of the funniest episodes of television. Eastbound and Down is great. It's so good. But Always Sunny advances in
Fair.
my bracket.
Fair.
In my bracket.
And then finally, in the single camera genre,
We're different on this one too, so I'll let you go first because you have Arrested Development
we both have Entourage.
versus Entourage. I have Curb Your Enthusiasm against Entourage.
I think
because-
we both. I'm gonna speak for you because I think I know your answer. I think Entourage gets beat regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like Curb better than Entourage.
Arrested Development is one of my all-time favorite shows. Love that show.
Mm-hmm.
I see them going far.
We have a hot sauce named after them.
Yeah.
So I
Love
mean,
it.
and,
Love
and
that
you
show.
should all go to our Facebook page and buy it.
Yeah.
There's only a few bottles left,
Yeah.
and if you don't hurry, Mo's gonna eat them himself.
I will drink those bottles. They're so good.
So there you go. Okay,
Off my shoe.
moving on.
All right, moving on
Let's
to-
go. Let's go drama.
All right, drama.
Let's go drama.
Let's look at that. Sopranos versus what I have as West Wing. You have as Hannibal.
Yeah.
Sopranos
There you
all
go.
day.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
You have Lost versus
Well,
Twilight Zone.
It's like no one is surviving. It's just like, you know what, it reminds me of like where we keep on taking the Stugatz out and just shooting big pussy
yeah.
over and over again
Wow.
because everyone's a big pussy in that category. And Standards and Practices said I can use that
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
term because
I'm
that's an
glad
actual
they're
name. Yeah.
approving of you.
Yeah. Lost. I have Lost. You have Game of Thrones.
Right.
I had
Against
Lost.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, against Twilight Zone. And you know what? And it's funny that Liz is texting us right now
Oh, I'm not noticing that.
on a group
Sorry, Liz.
on a group chat. Yeah, no, I can't. We can't do that right
No.
now, Liz. So
It's not the time.
no, and you know what? I'm actually. Let's make a pact. Let's not respond to her until she listens to this episode, but let's give her the answer right now. So the answer, the answer to your text is you asked, did y'all tip the pool organizer? Do you tip the pool organizer if you win? This is something I'm just learning about. That's actually a good etiquette question.
What are you talking about the pool organizer?
Do you tip the person who organized the Super Bowl pool?
No.
No.
Because they raise money for charity.
It's for charity, so
Yeah.
no. Yeah, you tip
No.
the charity. No. It's not like tipping the dealer.
Correct.
If it's a for-profit thing and there's enough money in the pool, sure.
But like as a winner, if I win the pool, do I tip out someone?
Did you tip Craig?
No. I
Well,
asked him.
If he listened to the show, would you tip him?
No, maybe. I told him that I said, look, I'll take him to dinner because I wouldn't have been in the pool had he not gotten me in the pool.
Oh, you got in the pool with Craig?
I did.
How did that one end up?
Waters were tepid.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was.
No, stop it. We went through a whole show without that too. It's terrible.
Welcome to the deep end.
Pew, pew, pew. So, let's get back to this because we got time. We want to finish this today. You want to finish the show today?
The Bar is Low is filmed in front of a live studio audience. There we go. Had to get it out there.
All right. So you have Lost. I have Game of Thrones.
There was still a giggle in the background. It was funny. It's
To me, it's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones moves on to face the Sopranos in the Sweet 16.
well. See, this is where I'm at because I'm gonna put the Twilight Zone defeating Lost.
Okay.
But Game of Thrones would have beat the Twilight Zone. That's the inherent flaw of the bracket system.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That was very, very Seinfeld of you to say it that way.
That's the game that we play. Dexter versus Band of Brothers.
And Dexter versus Rome for me.
You have Rome instead of Band of Brothers, which
Correct.
I'm still
Okay.
don't understand.
You gave me a
one.
funny look for it, but sorry. But Dexter takes it either way.
This one's really tough for me. This one is really tough for me. Because Dexter was really good.
Dexter's brilliant. A lot of people only like the Ice Truck Killer thing to it. I liked many seasons after that.
Well, the fourth season was the best season of Dexter, bar none.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about some of the worst finales in television history. You're talking about Dexter.
Yeah.
Versus Band of Brothers had literally the best ending in all of television history. In
fine.
all of history in general. Hitler killed himself and we
because
won the
Hitler kills
war.
himself. Yeah,
there
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
So because Hitler killed himself, Band of Brothers wins.
Wow. Dexter is knocked out by Mike.
Dexter is out.
Wow.
I channeled my own Dark Passenger. You're done. Wow. You're done, Dexter.
It's still alive by me, and that takes us to
Walking Dead
versus Weeds.
versus Weeds. I'm going Weeds. It's tough. Both of those shows were so good at the beginning.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead fell off much harder and continues to fall off much harder. It's the last season right now. Then
Is it still on?
yeah, that's the problem. Then Weeds. Here's the problem. Walking Dead was great when there was a destination. They were trying to get to
When
Washington,
they killed
D.C.
Carl, we had a problem.
Spoiler alert. When they killed Carl, we had a problem.
That was a while ago, buddy.
I know it was. But here's where I had the problem. Once we spent more than one season in Alexandria, you lost me.
Yeah.
Because the whole show up until then, you were in Atlanta, then you were moving up, you were going to Terminus the whole
Yes.
time. You stopped on the farm for a little bit. So you were in the forest for a little
right.
bit. It was great because it was moving and it kept the show moving.
Yeah.
And then it just got stale because everyone just got barricaded in and then this asshole with a bat and then,
I think they should have ended up just like, why didn't anyone figure out that zombies can't swim? Get on a boat, get to an island to be done.
I said that in like season 1.
I don't understand
that.
that.
Was the first thing I
Go to the
thought of.
Caribbean, man. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. So Weeds actually takes
Oddly enough,
that down.
we
for me.
agree here. I have Weeds taking it down too.
Yeah.
They went too long with it and ruined the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that brings us up to the animated series.
Animated series.
So Simpsons are taking on the Flintstones for both of us.
Simpsons are taking down the Flintstones for both of us, right?
Yeah, again, a show that might be going too long. But-
but they had a strong. Okay, the first 8-9 years of The Simpsons, pure gold every.
Yeah.
Correction. Seasons 2 through 9, pure gold every episode. The first season was good by all means.
The animation
yeah.
was weak. And,
Yeah, Quidjibo. But there were still really good episodes scattered throughout up until the 12th, 13th season. Then there was a big fall off. And recently, I've tried watching some of the recent episodes. They're not that bad.
So
They're not that bad.
I'm going to give you an odd way to say this. In that game of Simpsons versus Flintstones,
Yeah.
Coach K just took down John Wooden.
I don't know if John Wooden was the Flintstones.
I would say he is.
don't
You wouldn't have animation on TV today without the Flintstones.
Without John Wooden?
And John Wooden, you wouldn't have basketball today the way it is without John Wooden.
Okay.
I think that's a really good analogy. You didn't
it's-
like it, but you know.
No, it's a fine analogy. But The Simpsons still wins.
Simpsons win. That's what I'm saying. With respect, the Simpsons win.
So in the next matchup, you took Scooby-Doo, right?
Yep.
So you have Scooby-Doo. I took American Dad over Scooby-Doo in the last episode. And they're both going up against Beavis and Butthead in this. And I'm going with Cornholio on this one.
And I'm sticking with Scooby-Doo.
You're taking Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, over
So
Beavis and Butthead.
You don't need TP for your bunghole.
It's hysterical. Don't get me wrong. Brilliant, funny.
Yeah.
But Scooby-Doo, again, had a little more variety to it, even though it was always, Mr. Withers and the caretaker or whatever pulling his mask off.
There
a
was
lot of times.
no variety to it.
No, there's enough to. Beavis and Butthead became.
the same
If
ending
you go
every
back
time.
and watch both shows now, Beavis and Butthead will make you laugh, but it gets boring quickly. Even the movie gets boring quickly.
No, I just watched that recently. That movie is
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead Do America is so good.
Mike Judge, it was brilliant. I like it, but Scooby-Doo is Scooby-Doo.
Now you're omitting half the show because their commentary on music videos was
Was what made the show.
what made the show.
That was the bigger part of the show than I'm the Great Cornholio.
Some of the funniest jokes you've ever heard were during those music.
Oh, yeah.
Because music videos in the 80s and 90s,
They were a thing.
there was some weird shit going on in
Oh,
those
yeah.
music videos, and they would point it out to you.
Yeah, I
so-
still like Scooby-Doo more than Beavis and Butthead. I love Beavis and Butthead. I was there for it as as somewhat of an adult.
Yeah.
Watching Beavis and Butthead, and I still go Scooby-Doo.
Okay, fair enough.
I need to keep some classics alive here because you're shooting down all the classics too.
I'm not shooting down all the classics.
You kept Twilight. You didn't keep Twilight Zone. You
Yeah,
didn't,
I have Twilight Zone.
You kept that was the one.
Twilight
I kept-
Zone and the Sweet
All right.
16.
Okay.
I got Cheers.
Critic versus Family Guy.
Roseanne, that's a classic, I guess. I mean, I guess Taxi was more of a
I have
classic.
Taxi over Roseanne.
Critic versus Family Guy. I've got the 11 seed advancing in this one.
Ugh.
I've got the Critic advancing in
Weak,
this one. No.
weak effort on your part.
I've got the Critic
Two
going.
seasons worth of a show do not compare to as brilliant as Family Guy has been over the years.
I don't know, man. I think,
Family Guy, yes. Have they stolen from The Simpsons? Plenty.
sure.
But the character development has been fantastic. They even had a chance for a spin-off as opposed to being a spin-off.
Allow me to do this. if I'm taking the first 2 seasons of Family Guy versus the only 2 seasons of Critic, I probably go Family Guy. That first season of Family Guy
Outstanding.
was amazing. It was.
I
it
was
so
still-
good. The second season was so good. I'm sorry, but the Chubba Franklin used to live across the street, you see, and Chubba Franklin would always make a face like this. Since that show is no longer in the bracket, I can make the reference. That
Fair.
was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Actually, you know what? No, fuck. No, Family Guy actually wins
Thank
that one.
you.
Family Guy wins it.
Thank you.
Upon further review,
There was no further review for me. This was
Family Guy
a
won that one.
beatdown.
The
for me.
critic was so good though,
And then
and a lot of
Rennan's-
those voices were great. And John Lovitz, come on,
John Lovitz was great.
John Lovitz is so
he
good.
he made it further in this bracket than he ever did in his personal career. So let's leave John Lovitz alone there.
Oh, I wouldn't go
Oh, I'm
that
not taking
far.
a dig at Lovitz. Come
I
on.
wouldn't go that far.
That's the point of Lovitz. You pick on Lovitz.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, A League of Their Own
He was excellent.
wouldn't have been what it, even though he was a bit role.
Don't say it wouldn't have been the movie it was without John Lovitz.
No. But A League of Their Own. I mean that he.
No, his SNL career alone, the guy's
Well,
fantastic.
that too.
Guy's
But
funny.
in A League of Their Own, it's like the whole the he was the reason why the league started, is what I was getting at, right?
Mm-hmm.
His character in that thing, and just the way that he talked to those women ball players, just that dynamic that they had.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. John Lovitz was perfect for that. So we have Ren and Stimpy versus South Park as the 10-2 in the second round. And while I love Ren and Stimpy,
There would be no South Park without Ren and Stimpy.
you can't do
However-
any of that.
however-
no, it's South Park.
South Park takes that all day.
Yeah.
So we have our Sweet 16.
Our Sweet 16. We're gonna keep on moving because
Let's keep on trucking.
I'm
Let's
getting
get to that
roasted
Elite Eight.
soon. Oh my goodness.
All right, let's go to. I have Seinfeld versus Taxi.
You know,
You have
let's do it reverse. Let's start back where we just
All right,
were in
Simpsons.
the animated,
I have Simpsons versus Scooby Doo.
and I have Simpsons versus Beavis and Butthead.
Simpsons still take that.
Absolutely, Simpsons continues to move. on.
Oh, and then Family Guy versus South Park. I know this is going to be a slam dunk for you,
South Park, yeah.
but I'm putting Family Guy.
No,
Yeah, I think it's a funnier show.
just the one episode that South Park did shitting on Family Guy wins this whole thing. Just that one episode. And then the rest of I'll take South Park. Now again, both of these shows similar trajectories, but there were 8-9 amazing seasons of South Park. Again, not a bad episode.
I don't
And then they
think
kinda
there's
fell
been a
off.
bad season of Family Guy to me.
Yeah.
I love those characters too much. Family Guy moves on.
I've got the 1 versus 2 going into the Elite Eight, and you've got the 1 versus the 3. So still a properly seeded region. Moving
Yeah.
into the drama, Sopranos versus Twilight Zone.
Or Sopranos versus Game of Thrones.
Doesn't
which is what
matter.
I was.
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
It doesn't
Sopranos easily takes that step.
Big pussy. Sopranos.
And then
If you haven't seen the show, A, what's wrong with you? And B, me saying that is very relevant to the conversation.
It is. I didn't get mad at you about that.
No.
Yeah,
No.
can't.
You can't. I've got Band of Brothers versus Weeds. You've got Dexter versus Weeds.
Correct.
Um,
I think Weeds went as far as they can go. I like the show. We've talked about it a lot.
on both of our brackets. I
They've
think
gone
that's
as far
the
as they
case.
can
Yeah,
go.
I think
Yeah.
that's the case here. And so that gives me Sopranos number 1 versus Band of Brothers the number. So I got a 1-3, and you've got a 1-6.
I've got a 1-6
You got a
in
1-6.
there.
There
Yeah.
you go. Going into the single camera,
Yeah.
The Office versus Parks and Rec. I mean, talk about Obi-Wan versus. This is Obi-Wan versus Vader right here,
yeah.
right? And
The Office takes it.
Obi-Wan takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very similar shows, obviously. Not a spin-off, but
No, similar
it's
concept.
It's a spin-off from a production standpoint.
right.
If you want to
Yeah.
say it that way. We're gonna have 2 very different matchups here.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with yours?
All right, mine is Eastbound and Down versus Arrested Development. This was the big sleeper in the whole thing. Eastbound and Down was, well, they were with the 6 bracket. That's fine.
Yeah, they were a 6.
And
then Arrested Development was a 7. Yeah.
And Arrested Development beat that, and Arrested Development's moving on. I think Arrested Development is one of my all-time favorite TV shows.
I agree. Arrested Development would win that matchup as well.
And you've got Always Sunny
Versus Curb Your Enthusiasm.
versus Curb.
I'm going with Curb.
I'm not surprised, but you've been nothing but praise for Always Sunny this entire show.
Yes, but Curb Your Enthusiasm is on a different level.
Fair.
Again, it's funny. You look at our brackets.
knew you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just characters that is very difficult to like.
Yes.
that is the ultimate characters it's difficult to like. No wonder you didn't have either of those in there, because the same reason you hate Schitt's Creek. You just can't like those.
It's an awful show. It doesn't belong anywhere near the discussion on this TV show.
Oh, put Letterkenny on that list too, because that's a good on the other list. Okay. You watched that after I recommended it, right?
I don't. It's on something I don't get.
Oh, Hulu, because
I hate Hulu.
Yeah, you don't do Hulu. So there you go. And then let's go into the studio audience.
All right, we've got Seinfeld versus Taxi for me, and Seinfeld versus Roseanne for you.
Seinfeld takes in regardless.
I think Seinfeld is just too powerful.
Yeah.
They're like Georgetown with Patrick Ewing coming at you. Like, what are you going to do? You can't stop him.
Well,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I have Married with Children versus Cheers in my next matchup,
which is a great matchup.
Yeah. What do you have?
I have Friends versus All in the Family.
See, it's funny. Married with Children versus Cheers. They were, I guess you'd call them rival shows, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
same time frame.
I guess actually Cheers and Seinfeld would be rival shows.
No, they were same network and stuff. There wasn't much of a rival.
No, but they were back
Thursday
to back.
night. Yeah.
But there's a lot. I mean, there's a reason why they put all of those Ted Danson jabs.
Oh yeah.
And into Seinfeld.
Oh yeah.
Because Seinfeld was the better show.
Sure.
Married with Children versus Cheers. For me, I go with Married with Children.
Yeah, I knew that answer.
I go with Married with Children.
That wasn't even a question on your answer.
Of course you know that answer. Oh, it was a question because Boston.
Yeah.
Love me some Boston.
I've got All in the Family versus Friends. Both phenomenal shows, my opinion. I'm keeping a classic alive. All in the Family moves on from the 7th spot all the way in to the Elite 8.
Okay. Wow.
Friends was a 3, knocked down.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have Friends advancing there either. So we're moving on to the Elite 8 now. Things are about to get
in the Elite 8. We're heading into the Final Four.
No, this is the Elite 8 to decide the Final Four.
Yeah.
So that's
we're heading into the Final Four.
We're in the Elite 8 now.
All right.
Yeah.
We just decided the Elite 8. Now we're going into the Final Four.
Well, now we have to play out the Elite 8.
All right, here we go.
We have to play out the Elite 8.
Let's reverse it again.
Nope. We're going to start down here. I just got to keep shaking it up.
Okay.
Listen, whoever schedules March Madness television times always does this, so I can do it too.
All right, what do you got?
Oh, you were used to a 3:15 tip-off? Well, now it's 4:09. Sopranos versus Dexter for you.
This is a painful choice here.
Is it as painful as the ending of Sopranos or as painful as the ending of Dexter?
We can joke about both of those having bad endings.
No,
However,
Sopranos had a good
is
ending.
a good ending.
That's what I just said that previously when you shot on
No, I was saying
it.
people all shit.
No.
People had a hard time.
It was
I just
brilliant.
swore, which is rare.
Brilliant.
Stop it.
I didn't have a bleep, so that's the best we got.
People would all poo on Sopranos. I didn't love it in the moment, but I respect it now.
So I was in college at the time. We all had like a Sopranos watch party for the last episode at my friend Pat's house.
Shout out, Pat.
Shout out, Pat. What's up, PG? Pat Gillen just had a second baby.
Hey.
I hope it's more attractive than him. So
I've never seen him, and I'll agree.
Oh, that's a shame. There you go. I should have been like, I hope they take after the mom.
Yeah.
So we're watching, and it happens, and it was just silence for 5 seconds. And then I'll never forget Pat just going, "No!" and stormed out to the backyard.
Right.
Just stormed out. And everyone was just like,
Sad Pat.
What? We got drunk that night. It was great.
Yeah, Sopranos has to. I don't have a choice. It's just that good for me. Dexter, heck of an effort, good run, but Dexter's done here.
Yep.
You know why? Because of the new season. I wanted it. I enjoyed it. It didn't match up with previous seasons enough for me to enjoy.
Here's the thing. If that's the deciding factor, I will tell you this. If you're taking that into consideration, you also have to take the new Sopranos movie into consideration. Because Dexter New Blood was technically a new franchise. Different show. Dexter New Blood is...
How can you call it a new franchise when they pulled over all the same characters? And named it Dexter.
It's called Dexter New Blood.
Yeah.
It's a different series.
It's Dexter. It's the same guy playing it. No.
That was Dexter New Blood season 1.
You can call it whatever you want in your production world. I'm calling it what it is by the fan, which is it's another episode of Dexter, new season. Which I was excited to have, and I enjoyed it, but not on the level that the previous Dexters were.
There you go. So
Sopranos get it.
So the new shitty Sopranos spin-off movie didn't knock that down enough.
Didn't knock it down enough because I got to see some of the characters again at least.
There you go. I have Sopranos as well, upsetting Band of Brothers in my end of the bracket. I mean, there's...
All right, we're going to go over now to live studio audience, where I have Seinfeld versus All in the Family.
And I have Seinfeld versus Married with Children.
Wow. This is the toughest matchup you've faced the entire time.
Yeah.
Wow. For the record, Archie Bunker is about to get beat, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez, look at you. I got beat by a Jew.
Wow.
Something Archie would say. But
yeah, good defense. Yeah, that's something Archie would say.
No, that's why I said it, man. Come on. Good defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, Seinfeld takes it over Married with Children, and that's the toughest decision
Wow.
I've ever made in my life. Yeah.
Wow. You just did it, though. All right.
Those are the two shows that I have watched, other than Star Trek The Next Generation, that I have watched the most episodes of in my life, to the point where I can reference and
and you do.
either of those, and I do often.
All right.
I would bring more Married with Children references into our conversations, but A, it would just make me seem like an asshole, and B,
Not seen.
you wouldn't get it, so you'd be like, yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen them all. But
So-
I saw them all live when they first aired.
Yeah.
All right.
See, here's the problem. This is turning out to be all chalk now because we got two number one seeds, and now we have number one, The Office, going up against what I have as number 10 seed, Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was a great run for Larry David.
Yeah. But The Office has to take that down.
Yeah, right.
It has to.
I don't see any.
Same.
way it
I
doesn't.
have The Office versus Arrested Development, and I think even
Ooh, that's tough.
Arrested Development would say Office takes it down.
That's
although
tough, man.
Although it's a very difficult decision. But if both of them are on TV today, I'm probably watching The Office.
Yeah. And then the last one we have is Simpsons versus South Park is what I have, and you have Simpsons versus Family Guy.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
It is.
You're gonna go with Family Guy. On
I'm
this
going with Family Guy.
Yeah.
Something's got to upset a one seed here. The other ones weren't getting taken down. I think Simpsons has gone too long in their run. I think Family Guy is faster, and hence, to me, I think it is better written at sometimes. I think Family Guy is a better written show. So, Family Guy. Unfortunately,
This one, believe it or not, is actually more difficult for me than
South Park versus Simpsons.
this is more. South Park versus Simpsons is more difficult than Married with Children versus Seinfeld because that
Really?
that one was almost predetermined before walking in the door. This one,
You hadn't thought about this.
no, I did.
Ooh.
I never thought I would be in this position.
Ooh. You put yourself in this position, pal.
Now I think The Simpsons has it. It has the nostalgia. It has the pop culture. It has some of the best stories ever told. South Park was funny as shit. But I'm gonna go with The Simpsons on this one.
Yeah, you're nostalgia on this one.
I gotta go with The Simpsons on this one. Yeah.
See, I know deep down you're more nostalgic.
So
guy.
I have all chalk. Not surprisingly, it's my bracket.
Yeah.
So we're now in the final four.
Yep.
And we have, oh God, I was gonna say I see all S's. I see Simpsons, Sopranos, Seinfeld, and The Office. So you at least have only two S's.
I've got a 3 seed and 3 1 seeds.
Yep.
So
let's start with that one then. So you have the 3 seed in Family Guy versus number 1 Sopranos. Who makes it to the championship game? I'm gonna guess you're putting Sopranos there.
look, you put Tony in a game versus Peter. Sorry, Peter.
Yeah.
I love you, but no, this is all Tony Soprano. Tony Soprano takes that.
Plus, I mean, Quagmire in the locker room is never a good thing. So
Yeah, nobody wants that.
yeah.
That's your time to hit the stupid button, but that's something Quagmire would do. And you
Three
have
for a loop.
Simpsons versus Sopranos.
Yep. And you're gonna hate it.
I expect it.
You're gonna hate it, but
I
I
expect it.
believe The Simpsons to be a better show than The Sopranos.
You are entitled to poor opinions.
The Simpsons No, that's not a poor opinion. It's not a poor opinion. The Simpsons is great. The character development far deeper.
Look, I brought The Simpsons into the Elite Eight.
Elite Eight,
Right? So
and that's where you.
I
watch
respect
them, yeah.
the show.
Yep.
I love the show, respect the show, but I'm sorry. Sopranos is still arguably the best TV show ever to be on TV.
Arguably, but I will take The Simpsons. There's it's no what am I trying to say? It's not coincidence, but it's no surprise that is the longest running show on television. Right? If it wasn't still pulling in the ratings, if people didn't still love it, it would not be it would not still be going into what 32nd season, something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I wore Bart Simpson bow biters on my bowling shoes at graduation of high school.
This is what I'm saying. The Simpsons transcend pop culture.
They've
Sopranos
predicted
do
the
not.
future.
Sopranos do not.
It doesn't matter.
So
Just that you
that's-
transcend pop culture.
It's
It's a better show.
the Simpsons are a worldwide phenomenon.
Okay.
The Simpsons.
We're on network television
Simpsons.
before there really was a big push for any kind
No,
of
the
television
Simpsons
for the rest. So-
launched a network. Pretty
did.
much, yeah.
well, you've shown a lot of love for that network too. Between them and Married with Children, you've been a big Fox supporter here.
Yeah. Well, not so much. We have Fox, we have HBO, we have NBC. So I got the Peacock on
I'm
here.
saying you've pushed for
Yeah.
Fox shows quite a bit there.
Yeah, it's two Fox shows in the entire
But they're
damn thing.
two of your biggest things you've pushed along the whole way.
Lead 8, NBC, HBO. HBO is actually 3 of my 8, with Band of Brothers, Sopranos, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. So HBO technically is where I'm at. Seinfeld versus The Office. I don't think we're agreeing on this one.
We are completely disagreeing on this.
So you and I have completely different finals. Yeah, I don't know, man. Seinfeld's.
You got the SNS, Seinfeld versus Simpsons.
I can't.
Wow.
I think Seinfeld. Seinfeld is the greatest comedy. In my eyes. Oh wow! And speaking of beatdowns, UConn just beat Xavier 89-35.
Wow, way to date the show. So
35. You think people are gonna go back and be like, "What day was that on?"
yeah. If they're even still listening,
There
this
you
is
go.
taking us a while to get to the final.
Yeah.
Sopranos versus The Office for me. Like you said, how do you pick a winner? Because they're two drastically different genres. You took two comedies, Simpsons versus Seinfeld. It's still two comedies.
Yeah.
How do you pick a winner of those two shows? How do you do it?
Begrudgingly.
That's what she said.
So you're going Office is your best show of all
I'm
time?
going Office over Sopranos.
Office over Sopranos. You're doing Office over Sopranos.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah. And in my final, the Seinfeld versus The Simpsons.
This is painful.
I think I have to go with Jerry.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta go with Seinfeld.
Wow.
Gotta go with Seinfeld.
Mike,
Gotta go with Seinfeld.
great game, buddy.
Question:
Yeah.
Who is the main character in The Simpsons?
Ooh. Ooh.
Who is the main character of The Simpsons? In your opinion?
My opinion, Bart.
No, I think it's Homer.
Yeah, in the younger days, it was all about Bart and all came back to Bart. As the years went on, it became
Yeah.
more about Homer.
Yeah.
But I think it started off with being about Bart.
Sorry, it was a Bart show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Good assessment.
Yeah.
Good assessment. Who's the main character in The Office?
Tough. Because it was all about Michael for the start. But really, the whole story revolves around Pam and Jim.
Pam and Jim.
So
That's
really,
exactly
Pam,
where I was
Pam
going.
becomes more the central character, but Jim is when they follow to another
I
place.
was gonna
So
say, no,
It's
Jim-
got to be more Jim.
Yeah.
But it's all about Michael because the ratings went down when Michael left too, and he was the one that carried the show. But the story
still a
revolves around
fine
Jim.
show after he left, man.
Oh yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
It didn't drop off until the Did you like the reunion, the Office reunion?
No,
Did you see it?
no.
Oh, it's because they're never gonna do it. Mm-hmm. Which is how you know it's not the greatest show of all time.
Oh, stop it! The Brady Bunch did reunions like crazy. They're not on this. Oh, Brady Bunch is in the NIT.
There you go. See, that's the problem. You only got 64 slots, and you only got 16 per region. It's tough. It's
Oh,
tough.
Giddy up.
Giddy up.
I'm all over it. Hey, good job with the game, Mike. Folks, let us know what you think of it, and let us know if you want us to do a different one. We know this took a little while to do, but we think we had a good time doing it. And if we get a chance, we'll put this up on our social on Facebook for you to find your own bracket and fill it out and tell us who you think. Well, you think we might have been wrong, because this is all very personal.
Yeah.
Dig it. Good job, buddy.
Yay! 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 Yay!